After 10 years together, my husband refused to help with our daughter. I finally had enough and walked away to build new life for us. I, 29F, have been with my husband, 30M, for almost 10 years. We have a 3-year-old daughter together. I really need an outside perspective because I'm feeling guilty but also exhausted. When our daughter was born, I was working full-time in an office job. However, I developed severe PPD, postpartum depression, and had to take leave. Eventually, we decided that I would step down to part-time work so that we could avoid daycare costs and I could focus on healing. Financially, it was manageable at the time. Since then, I've been working part-time and managing everything else at home. Cleaning, grocery shopping, scheduling appointments, taking care of our daughter almost entirely on my own. My husband's only regular task was to cook dinner and sometimes breakfast. Despite cutting back at work, I became more overwhelmed than ever. I repeatedly asked my husband for more help, but after a week or two of small efforts, he would say he was too tired from his full-time job, 40 hours/week. Meanwhile, I was sinking mentally, physically, and emotionally. Earlier this year, I told him I wanted to return to full-time work and split responsibilities more evenly. He said no, that he wasn't willing to take on more at home. Despite his objection, I found and accepted a full-time remote position anyway. This job also allows me to afford a reputable daycare for our daughter on the days I need to work on site. I hoped that once he saw I was serious, he would step up. Instead, he became furious that I had taken a job. He told me flat out that he would not be helping any more than he already does, cooking dinner, and that I should not expect anything else. I asked him recently if he could at least help by brushing our daughter's teeth in the mornings to lighten my load a bit. He snapped that this, meaning my full-time work, was my choice and that I had done this to myself. At that moment, something in me broke. I realized I was already doing everything. Working, parenting, cleaning, planning, and now financially supporting a home that's under major renovation due to hurricane damage without insurance. If he wouldn't even brush her teeth in the mornings, what partnership is left here? Now, I'm seriously contemplating divorce. If I'm already parenting and managing life alone, why stay in a marriage where I'm constantly begging for basic support? Still, a part of me feels guilty for giving up on a 10-year relationship, especially when we have a child. So, Reddit, AITA for deciding that if you won't help, I won't stay. Update 1, a few days later. After posting, I spent a lot of time reflecting on your comments and advice. Thank you to everyone who responded with kindness and honesty. Some of your words hit me harder than I expected. Reading your replies made me realize something simple but painful. I was already a single parent in every way that mattered. The emotional burden had been crushing me for years. It wasn't just about brushing teeth or cooking meals. It was about the complete lack of partnership, of love, of basic respect. The past few nights, I watched him from across the dinner table. I tried to see if maybe I was being unfair, if maybe he was carrying burdens I didn't notice. But no, he sat there, scrolling his phone, while our daughter tugged at my sleeve, asking for help with her fork. He barely noticed her. He barely noticed me. When I asked him if we could have a serious conversation about how overwhelmed I felt, he sighed loudly and said, "Here we go again." I didn't cry this time. I think some part of me had already stopped hoping. Tonight, after I put my daughter to bed, I quietly began gathering important documents. My passport, my daughter's birth certificate, my job offer letter, bank account information. I don't know exactly when I'll leave, but I know now, with absolute certainty, that I will. Update 2, 1 week later. I spoke to a family lawyer for a free consultation. She was kind, direct, and honest. She explained that since I am the primary caregiver and financially stable with my new job, I would have strong standing if custody arrangements become necessary. I also told my husband I was serious about needing change. His response? He laughed. He said, "You'll never actually leave. You're too emotional." I didn't argue. I just nodded and smiled politely. Inside, though, something shifted. It wasn't anger. It wasn't sadness. It was freedom. The next day, I found a small, affordable 2-bedroom apartment near my daughter's daycare. It's not fancy. The pain is mine. It felt safe. It felt like a new beginning. This weekend, while my husband was out with friends, my brother and a few close friends helped me quietly move essentials into the new place. We came home. The house was half empty. I left a letter on the kitchen table explaining everything. Why I stayed so long. Why I had to leave. That I still hoped he would find happiness, but that I couldn't drown trying to save us anymore. He hasn't tried to contact me beyond one short text. I hope you're happy now. Honestly, I am. Not because this is easy. It's incredibly painful, but because I finally chose myself and my daughter. Update 3, 1 month later. It's been about a month since I left. The first few days were hard. There were moments after putting my daughter to bed when the silence in the apartment felt like it could crush me. But over time, something beautiful started to happen. I stopped holding my breath all the time. I stopped apologizing for existing. I started dancing with my daughter in the kitchen while making dinner. I started sleeping without crying myself to sleep. I started smiling real, genuine smiles. She's adjusting well too. She loves her new daycare. She has little friends now. At night, she tells me she's proud of me for making her a pretty room. As for my husband, he sent a few more messages. Some angry, some sad. But I don't engage. I'm not cruel. I just choose peace. I'm not sure what the future holds. Maybe one day, I'll find love again. Maybe it'll just be me and my little girl for a long time. But either way, I know this much. I would rather build a peaceful life alone than live a painful life together. Thank you, Reddit, for helping me find the courage I needed.